Hi, this is Marcus Crutchfield. I'm with UCAS Studios, and today I'm here at Moorpark College. We're going to do a little bit of a roundtable talking about things going on at the college, especially in the fall semester. And co-moderating with me is Dr. Julius Sokenu.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Moorpark College is your local community college. We are committed to making sure that we meet the academic transfer needs, the career development needs, as well as the lifelong learning commitments to our community. And being able to have this college right here in Moorpark that serves the surrounding community. And we've been doing it now for 54 years. 54 years of excellence in preparing folks for transfer to the California State University system, to the UC system, and to private universities, Ivy League institutions. 80% of our students that are in our honors program get into UCLA at first try. This is an institution that is very proud of its heritage of transfer. This is also an institution that's very proud of its commitment to making sure that we prepare people for the workplace. And we do that by having programs that are not only responsive to our local industry, but that we collaborate in developing programs. And the opportunity to do that is not only an honor for us, but it is what we see as part of our service to our community. So we do this work, and we've been doing this work now for 54 years, and we continue to do it because we believe in our students. We put students first. And we also believe, most importantly, that what we do helps to create pathways to prosperity for everyone. And the more we do that, the more we as an institution are part of the solution. We're part of the solution to the social justice challenges that we face as a country. We are part of the solution to making sure that everyone has a voice, and that voice is then utilized in supporting the economic and social well-being of our community. I am very honored to serve alongside the folks with us today, and for us to talk about how we move Moorpark College and really our community forward after this really challenging year and a half of a pandemic that has, in some instances, cost lives, and in some instances, impacted the well-being, economic well-being of our community, our students, their families. And it's been a challenge, but we've also, as an institution, as we always do, respond back with innovative programming, with putting student support at the center of the work that we do. So this is really a conversation with our team here, with our colleagues here, looking at how we grow as a college together, how we support our community together. So I'm going to turn to our Academic Senate President, who will introduce himself, and then we'll just go around the room and do that.
I'm Eric Reese, Academic Senate President and Faculty of Physics and Astronomy.
John Loprino, I'm the Interim Director of Institutional Advancement and Marketing, and I also work with the Theater Arts Program and Performing Arts.
Hi, Jennifer Clark. I'm the Vice President of Business and Administrative Services here at the college.
Anne-Marie McCarthy. I'm the Senior Administrative Assistant to Dr. Emmanuel Gabru, and I'm also representing the classified staff.
My name is Mary Poitier, and I'm the President of the Associated Students.
It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. Mary Reese, Interim Vice President of Academic Affairs.
So to start off our conversation, we thought it might be really effective to look at what we've done as a college in supporting students through this transition. And from where you sit on campus, how you've seen us as Moorpark College responding to the needs of our student population. So I don't know whoever wants to start, we can sort of just talk about what we've seen and what we've done in response to that.
One thing I would probably maybe start with is that one doesn't usually see change happening the way we have been. You usually aren't aware of the evolution and how things are being changed, but it's just dramatic here. We all, because of COVID, we completely turned our system upside down for the college, for the students, for the whole community. We moved from a largely on-ground world to a online world in a weekend. It was just phenomenal. We had 1,500 sections that had to be moved. The students were incredibly flexible. The faculty, the staff, everyone was trained. We had amazing processes for training faculty on how to teach online. Many of them we were running before about 17%. Online, and we had elaborate trainings for how to do this following best practices. It wasn't just, okay, we just put a camera and you just give it a shot and go for it. We had to define pedagogy, outcomes. How do you accomplish what needs to be? We went through all of our courses and said, what do students need to accomplish? What are the outcomes that are necessary for this course? And then ranked all the courses, whether they should be online, on ground, hybrid. People came up with the most creative ways to helping students accomplish these things. Our nursing, rad tech, nuclear medicine, EMT, they're essential services. So training people for those areas had to continue. So we had to figure out ways in order to make that happen. So how do you teach anatomy online? We came up with some very creative softwares. We also had students do online, except for when they needed to work with the cadavers, and then they would come in small groups. So people were extremely creative on how to help the students accomplish what needed to be accomplished, the outcomes necessary for those classes in as safe a way as possible. So it was a very crash course in how to figure out how to redefine ourselves to get to the same outcome. Now we have a new problem on how to keep the best and move forward. So,
well, I think in some respects, I think some people don't understand how much planning we do in advance and how far in advance we do this. So to say that we put all those classes into an online modality in a weekend's time is a huge thing for an infrastructure as large as we have. And consequently, even our fall semester, we put those schedules through early in the year when the pandemic was still raging. And for us to plan ahead and say we're going to bring everybody back in the fall, we weren't able to make that call. But once we put our schedules out and we told students and faculty that we're going to be teaching a particular class on ground or online, we've made that commitment to the students, to the faculty, that will be an online class. So we can't just say, okay, things are better now, so we're going to move it on ground. But we're coming back, and we got more students coming on ground and taking the classes on ground. And it's very exciting to see people walking our beautiful campus again and getting around and seeing things. So that's exciting.
And I wanted to speak to the business end of this issue. We, like our sisters and brother colleges across the state and really across the country, we've been very fortunate. The federal government did respond quite quickly. So we have been on the receiving ends of millions and millions of dollars, both for the institution as well as for our students. We've been able to help thousands and thousands of students with what we're calling federal stimulus. It's HER funding, it's CARES, you may have heard of it. It has lots of different names to it, but it's basically the student version of stimulus funds. And we've been able to help thousands, and we're going to help thousands more. Anyone and everyone, at least in the fall, that comes to Moorpark that's carrying at least 6 units is going to be able to avail themselves of the stimulus funding. They just need to be here. We know we absolutely have to help the neediest first, which we have done and we will continue to do. But we have that much funding. We feel we can help everyone. The stimulus funding has also, on the institutional side of things, it's helped us really keep the campus safe. It's helped us get all of our staff and our faculty at home very quickly. We've, with technology, with access, laptops, hotspots, cameras, whatever they've needed, we've been able to provide those things for them. And then students coming on campus, if they did, as Mary alluded to earlier with that anatomy class, if students were coming in small groups working with the cadaver, we were able to hire extra, for example, instructional lab techs who were helping to set labs up so that they could be so the students could socially distance. We've been able to buy additional equipment so students didn't have to share equipment, so everybody had their own. In just every possible way, we've really been utilizing this funding to make students successful and safe.
What's the application process like for some of that funding?
There is no application per se for that stimulus funding. We know we can help and we must help the neediest students first. So all of our students that have a FAFSA on file and have a CADA application on file, those are the students we can help first. But I will tell everybody, the FAFSA is their vehicle for getting assistance. And it's not just this federal stimulus money. We have all kinds of grant funding that is available to students. And we know at Moorpark, 80% of our students who think they don't qualify for funds do. So 80%, that's 4 out of 5 of you that are thinking, oh, my parents make too much money or whatever, I won't qualify. 4 out of 5 of you are incorrect. So please get that FAFSA in. But even if you aren't able to, we are looking at ways that we can reach out to students directly who are enrolled in 6 or more units. We're still coming up with that process. But like I said, it's going to be available for everybody.
And Jennifer, you mentioned the student success. I mean, we have really know this has been really tough on our students. And there are 24/7 tutoring available online. We will also have it on ground. There will be the embedded tutors like we've had in the past. We understand that students need cohorts. They need mentors. They need additional support. We have extra mental health support here on campus. We're going to have areas on campus so students can we're going to be calling it the Solar Village out in our parking lot under our new solar panels, where students can eat and gather, because part of the problem with COVID was the turning around the courses and all that, but the isolation, I think, is really hard, and we need to get people coming back to campus, starting again on their desire, what their goal, their education plan, and get them coming back. We're here for you. How do you want your education? What's your style? What do you need to succeed? We are there. Wraparound service as far as student support, different kinds of outside the word pedagogy, but how you learn in class. Do you like online? Do you like on ground? Do you want hybrid? Do you want spread out class? Do you want a online that is synchronous, so you meet the same time every day, or an asynchronous that you come when you can? Because we know that students' needs are so variable right now. There's a lot of pressure on, but there are so many different options, because we are here to provide whatever the students need to help get them going back on their educational journeys.
Yes. As a faculty member, I'll say that this is the first time I've been here 20 years now, and there are more opportunities and more modalities for students to take a class now than we've ever had. So all of those things that you just outlined in terms of the options that students have in terms of taking classes, whether it's partially on ground or fully on ground or fully online, and even within that, there are different modalities. So, I would urge students to take a look at our course offerings. And so many students have told us that that variety has been great for them in terms of being able to complete the degrees, classes that they may not have been able to take in the past, but now they can. So it's great for us as a faculty to have those options to offer students as many different options and modalities as they can take advantage of.
Yeah, and as a student myself, the flexibility is great. When the pandemic happened, I was like, well, how am I going to do my ballet? Because I love ballet. I didn't want to have a break, in the middle of learning everything. And just having the option to do it online, and the teachers were so patient and understanding and still getting the full gist of everything. I mean, that really, made it for me. I'm like, yes, I know we're in a pandemic. I know things are going on, but just having the ballet was very instrumental in my healing as well, dealing with that. I didn't have to leave that and go somewhere else. And, I was still active and present and everything in what I wanted to do. So I love having that option to do hybrid and all that stuff. Yes.
So for the fall semester here, what percentage of classes are going to be allowed to have students in them? Are all classes going to be allowed to have students? And if so, what is that occupancy like or capacity like?
I think that's a really good question. And you use the term allow. We have a lot of flexibility, and we're allowed to do a lot of things. I think it's about understanding what our students need and what our students' comfort is and responding to that. Right now, we're about 30% that, of course, have some kind of an on-ground component. We're still seeing a lot of our students are comfortable or their schedules fit with the online. I think it's going to be a transition. It's not that we're not been allowed to do something, but we've got to match what our students are, what they need. If they're working 3 jobs and they can fit in the online better, we're going to do that for them. We need to be listening to the community, listening to the students so that we can match rather than just say, we've decided.
We've talked a lot about students getting support, which has been tremendous, right? That's our focus, students first. I think anyone on this campus feels it and lives and breathes that. But there's been tremendous support for faculty and classified professionals as well to make sure we have the tools to help students learn online training, professional development. And that's going to continue, right? The initial push was to learn the basics so that we could continue, right? And now we want to master the online approach so that we do have all these different modalities. Students have the maximum amount of options to complete whatever journey they're on for their academic and professional goals. So that is another aspect that the college has been very supportive of, both obviously to help the students, but you have to support the infrastructure, which is faculty and classified, to help support the students.
Well, and I'll also say the administration has been very supportive and responsive in terms of as things have opened up, we've been allowed to do other things in addition to what we had planned. And again, I'm putting my theater director hat on. We've got a summer production and a little self-promotion here. We've got a theater production on campus this summer, 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, a musical that we're going to be doing in our studio theater. We're going to be doing it in front of a live audience. We're inviting people to the campus and kind of making that a celebration as part of the Welcome Back, Moving Forward Together campaign that we're doing on campus. So again, we have been responding and as things have been opening up, as things have been changing and more options become available to us, where we can, we're making those accommodations. And again, I appreciate the administration allowing us to do that and helping us to do that and encouraging us to bring people, the community, our students back on campus in a more robust way sooner than we had anticipated, which is all very good for all of us.
So you mentioned the Moving Forward campaign. Is it a campaign, or what exactly does that mean in relationship to Moorpark College, the Moving Forward?
Well, so our goal as an institution is always to be responsive to the needs of our service area. When we're a community college, we're in the community. Our goal is to make sure that we meet all that that our community asks of us. And so we know that a lot of individuals have been impacted by the pandemic. But we also know that there's a lot of individuals who see this as an opportunity to come back to college. They see this as an opportunity to continue their education in such a way that their life goals and their dreams and their aspirations for their families can be accomplished. And so we're looking at moving forward together as an opportunity for us to partner with our students, to partner with our business community, to partner with our classified staff and our faculty and our managers, so that we can help move the economy of our service area, of our county forward. So we can help accomplish the learning that our students, and we promised our students when the pandemic began, that we would offer them a safe environment and that we would offer continuity of instruction. Those were the two things we promised. We were very particular about that. So all the support that we've provided to our classified professionals and to our faculty has really been about making that happen. So moving forward together is to say, okay, we're ready to move on. You're ready to move on. What do you need? And how do we accomplish that? As the variety of modes of instruction is one of the ways in which we're moving forward together. The other ways in which we're moving together is, as John articulated, we want folks back on campus. They appreciate our athletics events. They appreciate our performing arts events. We want them to come back to a safe campus where the campus life that we're noted for can continue. So when we talk about moving forward together, that is part of this agenda, that's part of this campaign. The campaign is to help the community understand that we are open. We've always been open. The campus never closed down. The physical building might have been closed for some time, but the education continued to happen. The services that have been provided by our health center, by our admissions folks, that's been provided by our division offices continued. And they've done it in a stellar way over the past 15 months. So when we talk about moving forward together, the emphasis on moving in concert is important, but this whole idea that there's a future, there's a goal that we're going towards. And that goal means that we have new degrees pathways that are coming in place, and we'll be moving forward together to make those degree pathways happen. Moving together to get forward together also means we've discovered some things about our students when we went through this pandemic. We know that there are students who are students and staff and faculty who are concerned about connectivity and access to Wi-Fi that is reliable and that's sustainable. So when we're still moving forward together, how do we help those students? What do we provide for those faculty and staff members so that they can accomplish their dreams and their goals? So when we talk about moving forward together, it's really an ethic, right? It is very explicit in terms of programs and services. But it is also coming back to what this college is about, right? This equitable access conversation, this important commitment to supporting the economy and supporting the community that we serve.
Well, and the community has spoken to us as well. We always knew that EDOM and our zoo was a tremendous asset to the campus and the community. But the community came back and said, when is the zoo going to open? We served the community in so many ways. And I think when the pandemic came and we were shut down in a physical sense, we were still doing the instruction online, but that physical campus being closed down impacted the community. And they have let us know that. They would love to come and walk around our campus during the pandemic. And I think in some ways people who were home and in the neighborhood and the community came to see our campus. And I've heard so many people say, wow, what an amazing campus you have. Just to be on the campus and to be engaged and involved here, even when our classes were primarily online. So, that's part of that moving forward together as well, as the community moves forward, to renew our commitment to them and acknowledge to them that it's their campus too. It's the community's campus too.
Yeah, one of the things that is so particularly special about this college is, a lot of places say they're about their people. This college is really about its people. And if you ask anybody who works here, who's ever worked here, gone to school here, they will say, it's the interactions that we have that makes Moorpark College unique. I'm always very grateful to our classified professionals who, for the most part, are the first people that students and their families see. When you come onto this campus and you do a campus tour, often the first people you'll connect with are classified professionals. And part of the work that we've done as a college to retain that community feeling is we had campus updates, it was once a week, and the attendance has been phenomenal. And the attendance has been phenomenal because folks not only miss that interaction, but because there's so much happening, is key to making sure that everybody is informed, everybody's included, everybody's voice is heard as we're making these plans and moving forward. So I'm very grateful to our classified professionals and the effort that the classified professionals have made. So I'm going to ask Anne-Marie to sort of talk to us from a classified professional's perspective of what this whole experience has been like, working remotely and still meeting the needs of students.
It was challenging at first, but everyone came together and bounced ideas off each other and, how are you doing this? And I wasn't able to get this thing signed, The one thing I appreciate is that you're going to look at what we have been doing and bringing those forward to, even though we're going to be back on campus, to integrate some of the online stuff that we've been doing, because a lot of it was been very proficient. So I think that's something that the classified staff really appreciates, is that management is going to listen to us and take our ideas into account.
But we're also looking at enhancing our physical plant and our buildings so as to make the learning environment much more safer. So, we've invested millions really in making sure that the ventilation system, which was already up to par, but that it can further accommodate the OSHA and Cal OSHA standards that are necessary to function under the new environment in which we find ourselves, and in modifying workspaces so that we can serve students better. So there's a lot of good actually that has come out of the pandemic. There's unintended consequences that are actually for the better that has come out of that experience. I guess for each of you, when you look at what we might do differently as we move forward, what do you think, as after having gone through this pandemic experience, what do you think we've learned or that you've learned in the ways in which you function that we might move forward differently?
Well, just like I mentioned at the very early on too, I said we're seeing an evolution here. Education is evolving, is changing. It's some of the things that we knew were coming as far as more online degrees, more flexibility for retooling workers from one career into another. We knew those things were happening. The pace has dramatically been accelerated. How to teach, what are the best practices of teaching online, as Eric mentioned, is really, everyone is been raised to a different level than we were. So I think we're going to really be changing our whole educational process. And I think we have to look at what is our outcomes. I mean, what do the students need? What are the resilient jobs? What are the jobs that our community needs? And how quickly do they need them? And how quickly can we help someone be trained into a new career and that? And we're up for that challenge. We have the courses. We will work on the time frames to help them meet that. But I think that's all changing. Anne-Marie mentioned that our paper processes don't include paper anymore. We're going to be redefining all of that and look at the why. I think it's about not because we used to, but what are the needs? Who needs this and the why on all that. So
I think it was also interesting to find that I think one of the things we learned about online instruction is that it's not for everybody all the time, and certainly in every area. And while there were ways that we could innovate in online instruction in different areas, I think we also found that there are some of our students who still want that traditional experience. They want to come on ground. They want to interact with the instructor and their peers and work on group projects in the classroom, and that some of our students really prefer that modality, even if the online is available to them. So that was something that was interesting to me as an instructor, that I thought, wow, students will really take to the online and they're so tech savvy that they should have no problem with the online transition. But a lot of our students were like, I want that interaction. I come to school for that interaction, for that social component as well.
As far as the federal funding was concerned, we really tried to, for every dollar that we spent, yes, we absolutely wanted to deal with the issues that we had today and to try to mitigate whatever those issues were, whether they were for students or the environment, making it safe, providing more support services or financial aid or whatever it was for our students. But how can we spend these, and it really is millions and millions of dollars for the institution, how can we spend them today that is going to set Moorpark College up for the future, for the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or beyond that? So how can we spend these dollars today that is going to provide the most use, or we're going to get the biggest bang for our buck, right, out of these federal dollars. So things like Dr. Sokenu mentioned, the duct cleaning. And what we're also doing, in addition to cleaning out all our HVAC ducts, is we're installing a UVC. It's a UVC, a type of ultraviolet light. inside our ventilation systems. Certainly it's going to be doing the air good, right? Because it's going to be killing all sorts of things, not just COVID. The flu, measles. I know when I first mentioned this to our student health center coordinator, she was very excited. The first thing out of her mouth was, "Oh, measles! It's great for measles, for helping to control that." So that's something it comes up from time to time, right? So this is just one example of dollars that we're spending today that is going to help us and keep our environment that much cleaner, safer for everybody for years and years and years to come. We're investing in 4 different large modular buildings that for right now are going to be providing, for the most part, classrooms. Large classrooms for faculty, the students who kind of want to spread out a little bit more, who want to be on ground, but want to be in a room that's maybe not quite as small, they're more comfortable. We're going to have 4 of those on campus starting in the fall. Those buildings, once they're put on a permanent foundation, are good for 50 plus years. So let me tell you that Moorpark College has a very, very long list of possible uses for additional large classrooms. Those will be put to excellent use for many, many decades to come.
Well, I'm a returning student. And when I thought about coming back to school, this is the place I thought about coming back to. I remember, just having all the support, student support, teachers caring, classes that I liked. And also, just having this rapport with my teachers and the students, they try to bring us together. They try to facilitate our ideas. And I said, I want to go back to school. Moorpark is going to be the school I'm going to go back to, So just sitting here and listening to everything, I'm like, I'm glad I made that decision because as it was then, it's like that now, and more, like going together, going forward. I'm really happy to hear all these stuff because my son is coming here in the fall. So I love this. Love it.
And I think that's a great thing, a point to make, Mary, because it's the students coming, the younger students, returning students. I mean, we're really here for all the different aspects of the community. Whether you're retooling for a different career, just starting out on your career and trying to get your GE courses, or whether you're interested in getting into our fantastic nursing program or whatever program you're in, or you're just interested in just personal improvement, taking some ceramics class, taking a history class, astronomy would be at our observatory. We really have a wide variety of opportunities depending on what people's needs are. So we have really a wide reach as far as type of classes and niches that we could provide service to.
Hi, this is Marcus with the UCAS Studios. We'll be right back with the next part of this roundtable discussion with Moorpark College.